motivational speaking. We do stage. We do videos. We have a YouTube channel as well that you'll be able to get more info on. We're developing literature, books. We're gonna be out there giving people information on how to be financially free on with with purchasing and selling and creating properties and opportunities. Educational freedom is also very real with the loss of monies and the loss of having um, had to go through the grind. I like to make the analogy of financial freedom as a marathon runner, right? A marathon runner, and we're going to be your coach. We're going to coach you through that marathon, or we're going to coach you on the preparation for the marathon. It's a preparation for you to sustain from A to Z and bring that gold home, bring that trophy home that you made the marathon, and we're going to be your coach to teach you how to do that, right? So financial freedom also has a lot to do with even with the shoes you wear. In a marathon, you can't go run a marathon in sandals, right? It, that's essential. The socks you wear, you're not gonna wear silk socks to run a marathon. Even the socks, there's appropriate socks to wear. Some people wear socks, some don't. Just depends on the shoes, right? And the ones you choose, whether it be New Balance or Nike, it doesn't really matter. But what matters is the resistance that we're going to teach you to have through this journey of financial freedom through asset-based purchases and refinances. We're also going to give you goal settings on credit, on how to build your credit, how to build your financial wealth via uh, ground up construction, whether it be fix and flips, whether it be simply buying properties at the courts, at the foothouse of the courts, which I don't really like to do. I'll be very honest with you. I think it's there's too many people there doing that, and you're not going to get the best opportunity because what's left, which I saw just recently, someone bought something that nobody else took, and when he came to buy it, he spent $70,000. He thought it was worth $350. He thought he was paying off the mortgage, and he was paying off a second lien. It wasn't even the first. So he's going to probably lose the $70,000. And that was at the courthouse, believe it or not. So that's not one of the ways I want to teach you guys how to be financially set. I have a big saying that I've always said it for many years. It says, scared money doesn't make any money. So if you don't have that clear, that if you're not set in your ways to break out into that marathon from scratch and not be scared, that you're going to have to go up hills, you're going to have to get your knees scraped, you have to get your elbows scraped, you're going to fall, there's a probability you got to be ready for all of it. Those are going to be tough to deal with because, everybody's scared. Everybody's got that, first notion of, why would I go through this hardship? Well, you call it a hardship because you really don't know what you're going to go through. And it's really not going to be a hardship because we're going to be alongside you. Something that we look at on our day-to-day is that we want to say that we have the Judean mentality in this business, in the business of financing, in the business of real estate, in the business of title, in the business of insurance, in the business of financial education. We want to say that we have the Judean way of thinking. Why? Because the Judean way of thinking serves as a community. And within that community, everyone's looking to help each other. If Joe produces shoes and John produces shirts, we're all going to buy Joe's shoes, and we're all going to buy John's shirts. That's a part of the community on our growth and how we're going to move forward in one force. You understand me? It's like another saying that my dad taught me says, 2 visions is 1 division. What does that mean? It means that if I'm your coach, right, and you're the marathoner who's going to run the marathon, and I'm looking that way, and you're looking that way, we already crashed. We're not going to make it. We have to be both visualizing the same pathway. That's what we're going to do with you. Republic Commercial Funding, PowerUp, the team behind our podcast, and all of our educational platform is here to serve you, here to educate you, here to give you more than what you've received anywhere else, because we are a marathon team. We are preparers for marathoners of financial freedom. That's how we want you to create the analogy and the analysis. You can create perfect, or you can choose perfect funding solutions via Republic Commercial Funding and PowerUp. Because we're going to prepare you. We're going to come here several times a week, if not once a day. But we're going to start out slow, and we're going to bring you guys truth of lending, the why, the when, the how. Because it's not just, I tell people all the time, you want that kind of lending? Go to Quicken Loans. I'm not your guy. Now, you want someone who's going to be there for you, who's going to talk you through it, who's going to give you the day-to-day, who's going to look up rates, who's going to look up, credit scores, who's going to give you geographically comps. We do it all, but we want to do it all for you so you don't falter. Let all of our education of what we've had to go through the years be what sets you apart from everybody else. Because you let yourself be led by true coaches, true marathon coaches who are indicated and prepared to build your resistance, to build your mind, to build your strength, through strength training, through leg workouts, through shoes. I mean, everything. We're going to take into account everything, even your water intake. Everything's going to be important. That's exactly what we do in the financial realm on buying properties. One thing I tell people is that think outside the bank. Think outside the bank. How can I use Republic Commercial Funding? How can I have them be partnered up with me so I can specialize in teaching others what they taught me, and then we do this together? Because that ultimately, we want you guys to be sponges. We want you to learn what we're going to teach you, and then we want you to take it and teach somebody else. That way we know that what we did was the right thing. Because we're not here to, this is not a get-rich gimmick. This is not a get-rich opportunity. This is an opportunity to be educated in a platform that's very lucrative. Okay? Many people would want to be in this platform. Many people would want to learn about this, but they just don't know how. And you might be the person to teach them how to come on to PowerUp, how to come on to Republic and get more for the time that we've already spent 26 years in the making of who we are today. And we want to transfer that over to you guys. So that Judeo way of thinking of the community is how we forcefully come together as one to help each other move forward. There's a lot of topics. There's a lot of different avenues that we're going to want to look at on the day-to-day, so you guys can also partake in our podcast and the growth that we're going to bring forward to you. Let's talk about credit. What is credit? There's many platforms out there that talk about credit. I tell people to go to Credit Karma. Credit Karma is owned by the credit bureaus, so they're governed to show you what they want you to see, not particularly everything you should be seeing, which is everything in your credit. We ask that you go to Identity IQ. You do have to sign up with them, and they'll give you access to their platform via your credit. And we can use that to see live what you have on your credit. It's how we help a lot of people, because we have an in-house credit department to help people with the stability or or lack thereof, or instability in their credit, which everybody, it happens. Everybody's got a high and a low in the credit field. So we'll teach you on how to clean some of the stuff up that you have there. If you need us to give you all sorts of resources in the credit realm. I've taken people myself to the bank, and I have gotten secured credit cards with $500. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I've gotten people secured credit cards with $500 into the bank account, and people now have American Express because they had to start somewhere, right? So we deal with a lot of people who, they're immigrants from different countries. Just rest assured that we're going to treat people, everyone's going to be treated the same. We're going to give everybody the same opportunity to get loans to help them buy their first property, buy their eighth property, what have you, whether it be commercial or residential. We're your team to walk you through the day-to-day. Financial freedom. Financial freedom is something that we take dear to heart, because everyone, not just the millionaire people, financial freedom is not having millions of dollars in the bank, right? Financial freedom is defined by your attitude. Financial freedom is a designing of your mental aspirations, right? Because you could already be a millionaire mentally, although you're not financially. You can be a millionaire in your heart, but not in your bank account. You can be a millionaire in many instances, right? And you're just waiting for the financial part to set in, because you never know. Something that I learned many years ago is that, and my dad taught me, listen, you have two attributes that you have to share with people wherever you go, whether it be personal or in business. He says, be grateful for the people around you, for who they are and what they do. And secondly, recognize the people for who they are and what they do. And those two attributes will define who you are, but especially who you are as my son. That's what my dad taught me. So I daily practice the fact that we have to show people gratitude and show people recognition for who they are. That's big, I would not be sitting in this chair right now if somebody didn't choose to say, well, Walter, we want you to help us. We want you to help us teach others. And I said, absolutely, I'm there. Whatever day of the week, this is an 8-day-a-week job that we have, teaching people, walking people through, building our wealth via buying and selling properties. That's what we're here to do. That's what we've learned. That's what we're going to practice, right? Let's go down the line here. Speaking about hard money is a terminology for private lending. Usually people use that because they don't want to do a long-term loan of 30 years. So private lending is a 1 year to 2 year term. The interest rate is higher because the rate is higher because the risk factor is higher. Most people come in there at 70%, 75%. That's kind of borderline. You don't want to go above that. You want to keep that as margins, because if something happens to a property, you have enough meat on the bone that you didn't give it all away, and you can sell the property, get your money back, and not hurt, because we're not here to hurt, obviously. And what I said before is that scared money doesn't make any money. Don't forget that. Scared money makes no money, right? Let's go on to, did everybody understand what I was talking about as far as hard money? Hard money is used for investment properties. Most of the time you use hard money and you don't use it for primary residence. You use it for investment properties, whether it be a fix and flip, ground up construction, these types of loans that aren't your day-to-day. Conventional is your day-to-day. Hard money is more of a niche for investment properties, mainly. Then you have your conventional financing. Conventional financing is for mortgage brokers to use for people who want to buy their homes with 30-year fixes. it's really interesting what we do, because we do it to the full extent, wanting people to learn, wanting people to understand that we're here to help them. We're not here just to talk about it. We're here to help. We do nonprofits. We do churches. We loan against planes. We loan against boats. We loan against everything. We don't loan. Well, we don't do cars, but we do everything else basically. Okay. Let's go to another topic. Interest rates. So interest rates vary. And if it's a private loan, you're gonna have something between 10.5 and 12. If it's a conventional loan, you're gonna have the daily rate for the day. Yesterday, the rates opened up at 3.875. They're dropping. They're dropping substantially. It's going to create a synergy of people wanting to buy properties now, which is great for all of us, because we want these sales to go through. For some of us who are involved in construction, like I am, you want this rotation of the construction to be sold, so these builders can keep building. We're financing all those build outs, and we do finance the ground construction. We finance construction to perm. Let me explain that quickly. Construction to perm is basically one loan between the construction side and the living side. So what does that mean? So we're going to do both loans, which would have been two loans, a construction loan and an end buyer loan. We're going to do it just with an end buyer loan, and actually the construction company saves the money to close on first. You don't have to close. We just transfer it and do one loan, construction to perm. There's a lot of variables in reference to us having more opportunities today, more than ever before, on different types of loan structures. I'm really excited about what's going to happen now in the next 2 months. Rates are going to drop, and people are going to run out to buy right away. We're going to be ready for it. Loan amounts. Well, loan amounts vary. They have to do with geographics. What are you trying to achieve? Is the appraisal done? Did you do an inspection? Where'd you get a price from? When was your last fix and flip? What have you done in the past? Let me have a schedule of real estate. There's a lot of things here that we need to go through, so you can be aware that running a marathon is not just putting some shoes on and just jumping into the street. There's all the preparation that Republic is going to do with you, along with PowerUp, that we're going to help you and guide you, walk you through, and teach you, so you guys don't have any falter. That's not where we want you to be. Okay? On a lot of loans, particularly mine, I do no prepayment penalties, because I want people to get their money. If they're done, go and come back and get another loan. Excuse me. Therefore, I do no prepayment penalties. And let's talk about lender points. Our points vary from anywhere from 1.5%, sometimes 1%, but usually 1.5% to 3%. We try to be below 3%. And with the brokers out there, you guys are out there, the realtors can come, bring us a loan, and make some money with us. We want everyone to make money. We want everybody to be engaged in the day-to-day opportunity of non-owner occupied properties that they need money for, to be able to either fix a property or just buy it, acquire it, to resell it. So we're going to help you buy and resell. Okay? What kind of credit lines do we have? Well, we usually go to a max of 75%, like I said earlier, on the acquisition and the refinancing, because we don't want people overextending themselves into long-term loans. So the max of the LTV is usually going to be up to 80%. That's going to be a max. And a 2-year term is also 80%, and even a 4-year term, which we have as well. We have variables. We even have a nice program, which is at 9.99, 30-year fixed. The industry has changed immensely, because we're trying to get people to do more, although they're doing less, but less is more nowadays. as we already know. But non-owner occupied properties is something that's very much doable because a lot of people want to buy. They want to buy and hold. They want to buy and hold and create passive income, which everybody's entitled to doing. And this is the place to do it because Florida has a lot of those. If not Miami, we have a whole ton of that. Okay, so let's talk about how I became a financier of loans. Well, I was a cadet in the Navy. I went to Kentucky State. I did some governmental studies on law, which I was taking, and then I did some studies. Law definitely was not of my appetite, so I went from law to economics and finance, and here we are. It hasn't all been rosy. It hasn't all been pink. There's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but nothing's perfect. Nothing's meant to be perfect. Nothing has been perfect. Everything needs to be worked on a day-to-day between what we're trying to achieve as a team with PowerUp and you. So if we can work out the fact that you need to mentally be prepared as a marathon runner to let us coach you into how to buy, when to buy, how much to buy for, we'll give you all the steps and procedures so you guys can make the right choices and use the leverage of our understanding, use the leverage of our education so you can buy that luxury property and make a little extra money. Let me explain something to you. You make money when you buy, not when you sell. A lot of people buy thinking, well, the property here is selling for $400,000. That's not a guarantee. You might be able to sell it for $450,000. You make money when you buy, not when you sell. A lot of people think it's the other way around, and it's really not. Buying is that first initial jump out when you're gonna run the marathon. That first purchase. That you decided. I'm decided. I'm gonna move forward, and that's what I'm gonna do. So that takes a lot of courage. Takes courage. Takes stamina. Takes resistance. Takes vigor. Takes so many qualifying attributes so you can make it happen. Us as financiers, we want you to be able to explore opportunities on the conventional loan side. We want you to explore opportunities on the hard money side. We want you to explore opportunities on just buying and selling property. Some of you guys already own property. We can refinance your property. We can help you be financially set. Just give us an opportunity to serve you. We know what we're doing. It's been tough. It has been rosy pink. It's not been a walk in the park. It's been tough. I don't know how many of you guys know, but I lost my business partner back in 2009. He took his life because between 2007 and 2009, we lost everything. $18 million in property, almost $20 million in properties. It was tough, and he didn't know how to sustain. So it has not been all rosy. Please use our platform as a way for you guys to grow and help the person to your right and help the person to your left grow as well. Have the Judean way of thinking so that we can all be one. We can have one class of people, not 6 different classes of people, one class. I'm going to give you one real particular analogy. What is that? That's who's knocking at your door wanting for you to come and learn how to be financially free. How many people are knocking at your door? Most of you said no one. Well, that's the truth. And that's going to stay that way because, unfortunately, unless you got the Judean way of thinking and you want everybody in your community to grow, you're not going to be knocking at anybody's door. Most people don't do that. They don't care. But if you have the grief for those that aren't financially free and you want to help them, then you'll have that vigor. You'll have that desire to share your knowledge, your wisdom, and your understanding so other people can learn from it. Okay, that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you with your credit. We're here to build your credit. We're here to build your income. We're here to build your taxes. We're here to build your family. We're here to build your esteem. We're here to build your understanding. We're here to build your resistance. All of it transpires for you to be the marathon runner and us your coach. Well, look at it however you like. Your bike cycling coach, running coach, swimming coach, whatever makes you understand what we're saying. It doesn't have to be of any way, sort of perfection in what I'm trying to share with you. Financial freedom through the understanding of how money works in the financial field. We're going to have bullet points and bases and understanding and processes so you guys have a clear understanding where it all comes from. We're going to send you guys flyers. We have plenty of flyers. We're going to send them to you free of charge, or we can email them to you as well. We love the tangible. We believe that the tangible is ultra important because, I mean, you can have this in your hands and look at it, look at the rates, and look at all the bullet points on the lending criteria, because there's criteria here in lending. So you have interest rate, you have LTV on the max or the average, you have lender points, you have FICO requirements, you have property types, you have lender fees, you have interest requested, you have term extension fee, you have loan amounts, you have closing time frame, you have collateral, and my favorite, exit strategy. What is your exit strategy to what you're trying to create? You're trying to create financial freedom, but if you don't have a plan, it's like the saying, when the saying goes, when you don't plan, well, the saying exactly is, when you fail to plan, you've already planned to fail. Did you get that? When you fail to plan, you've already planned to fail. So one thing that we're going to teach you in our class, in our podcast, through PowerUp, through our emails and our YouTube channels and our face-to-face and our stage presence. I mean, we're going to be in your office. We're going to be on stage. We're going to be traveling. We're going to give you information. You won't have a lack thereof. You're going to have the information you need to make financial freedom be a part of your life. And that's what we're here to do. We want to do nothing less. So going down the line of the things I just shared with you guys on, for example, the FICO requirements, mostly today, your bottom line FICO requirement is going to be between 580 at the bottom of the barrel, which is, some banks will do 580, some will start at 620. Just depends on what you're trying to achieve or which financial institution you're going to use. You know, I never recommend big banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, Truist. I don't request any of these big banks because they're going to give you a very limited steps and procedures in teaching, which they don't do that. That's not their forte. It's more of that's more of our forte to teach you guys the when, the why, and the how, and that's what we're proud to do, and we do it proudly. And we want you to understand that financial freedom is a mindset. Financial freedom is a way of thinking, a way of living, a way of talking, a way of looking at things. You know, you can't say I'm financially free, and you still don't have the understanding of the how or the why. Yeah, you have a pocket full of money, but unless you're continuously on the bringing in that continuous funding over and over again, that's when you have true freedom. True financial freedom is effortlessly making money. That's financial freedom. When you're making money, you don't have to overextend yourself. to bring that money to the door. Again, the saying that we have, think outside the bank. Not think outside the box, but think outside the bank. That's a cliche that we have in a republic. Think outside the bank. We even have flyers that say that. Think outside the bank. You know, we think it's cute. We like it, and we've printed that. Buying property and acquisitions of properties is where we're going to be indicating you to go for that financial freedom. Asset-based lending is where we want to say that we do the most of. We can help you foreign nationals. We can help those that already own properties here. We can especially help those that have never been in the real estate industry, have ever did their first purchase, have ever done their first fix and flip. We can help you because we have the tools and the resources that people need to achieve that goal. And it's not that very difficult. You just got to have the desire to do so. And once you have the desire to do so, you'll achieve it because we're going to drive you there. We're going to drive you to be there to understand that because you're already part of PowerUp and you're part of our podcast, our educational platform is going to come hand in hand. You know, I always tell people, you know, are you ready to knock on someone's door? Are you ready to be that liaison to help the next person? You know, or were you one of those people? There's a saying in Spanish. There was a video that went out many years ago. It's called English Without Borders. English Without Borders. People bought that by the truckloads. English Without Borders, but nobody shared it. People would buy it, but they never shared it with anyone. They would hide it in their closet, put it underneath their bed. But they were like, I spent $1,300 on that. I'm not about to give it to Bob. I'm not about to give it to Sam. I'm not about to give it to Jennifer. I'm not about to give it to Isabel. They have to earn their own keep. That's where you're wrong. We have to knock on each other's door and say, I'm here to help you. I'm here to bring you forward. I'm here to take you through the marathon. I'm here to give you resistance. I'm here to give you training. I'm here to absorb your scraped knees or scraped elbows. I'm here to patch it up. I'm here to help you be better. That's what each and every one of us need to do. We're obligated to knock on people's door. And that's what we're going to do, no matter what, because that's going to be a part of our legacy. That's going to be a part of the purpose-driven life that we're going to have, that people need to understand that we're financially set. We're already there, but we want the next person to be there. You know, banking is a very difficult industry. Banking is not, and it's cutthroat, you know, and is very heavily regulated. And banking is actually very tricky. I remember one time my dad says, you put $250,000 in an IRA? I said, yeah. And I was happy I did that. He says, you go into the bank tomorrow and you're going to take that money out of there. I'm like, Dad, what are you talking about? That's going to earn me 6%, you know, over an extension of time. He says, it might earn you 6%, but it might drive you to lose it all too, where you won't have a dime left over. Read the fine print. Read the fine print. And I did. And he was right. I even asked the banker, that's your question. If you knew that I could lose this money because you made an investment across the sea and your investment went belly up, how do I lose my money? Did you know that? And the banker was honest and says, yes, you can lose your money. And I says, move that out of there now. But then again, I had steps and procedures from my dad who gave me the insight, and I didn't get to lose my money. That's what we're here to do with you. PowerUp and Republic Commercial Funding and the team, we're here to give you the financial freedom through steps and procedures, through tricks and trade tricks that we already have, that we've lived through. We're going to give you the financial education on how to get a loan, where to get a loan, why to get a loan. I mean, we are going to be your one-stop shop to help you run that marathon of length, strength, and distance, because if we don't do that, no one else is going to do it. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you be free financially, have your family be free, have you be free through our wisdom, our knowledge. Okay? Please be at your beck and call for others too, because that's what we're here to do. It means nothing to us if you're not out there teaching others what you've been taught through us. That's the real freedom in our world. We're going to talk about credit. Credit is a very large part of the risk factor. As you already know, credit, taxes, and income are the three main drives to get a loan done at the best qualifying rate, at the best options out there. You need credit, taxes, and income. Don't forget that. Credit, taxes, and income. Don't forget it. That's what's going to drive you to lower your risk factor to a 0 so you guys can make the money you're supposed to make, right? Remember the saying, scared money makes no money. That's very, very, very true. Sorry, I'm a little bit thirsty. Been talking for a little bit. Although I love talking to you guys. I love giving you guys insight. I love giving you guys the desire through our help, through our resources of you guys taking your life, your financial freedom to another level through asset-based lending. That's what we do, Republic Commercial Funding, asset-based lending. We're going to be here for you. PowerUp is going to give you a lot of insight. We're going to give you insight. We're going to give you podcasts several times a week, if not daily. We're going to be on point. We're going to restructure your mind. We're going to restructure your capabilities. Just give us that opportunity to give you free. This is what we're here to do. We're going to give you that opportunity to take what you don't know, apply it where we do know, and give it to you so you can do the same with someone else in the future. That's all we ask. Focus. Focus on your marathon. Focus on your growth. Focus on your strength. Focus on us being your coaches to take you to the next level. Financial freedom is available through PowerUp, through Republic Commercial Funding, through our teams. We can give you the tools and the essentials that you're going to use for the future. Give us that opportunity. We'd love to serve you. We're here to be with you. We're here to give you a lot of tricks in the trades. I mean, there's so many avenues to go down. We're going to do this very, very, very an educational platform to give you guys the day-to-day, the how, the why, the where, the geographics. That is ultimately important, the geographics. So with no further ado, we want to thank you for this opportunity. We want to thank you for giving us your time through our podcast. Please look out for PowerUp. We're going to be out there giving you a lot of information. We are here to serve. It's been a pleasure. Walter Abreu, Republic Commercial Funding, and PowerUp, a partnership to take you to financial freedom. Get ready for the marathon. We're here to thank you.